Well, Paul, all about the victory after Tuesday night, and you got it today.
Yeah, it was, but I think performance-wise, I'm not saying it was his best, but I thought we were relatively comfortable without being too unkind to Dagenham. But for a large part, we looked in control. Maybe could have got a couple more goals, good situations, looked handball, which we didn't get it, and you're just wondering if that's going to come back to bite you. The late goal we conceded is probably the only negative from the day. So yeah, really pleased with the win.
How key was it you got that second goal just before half-time?
I guess we'll never know, but it gives you a little bit of comfort, of course, but knowing full well the next goal, and I'd seen that Darryl had said for a couple of lads to get warmed up and knew they would change. And Balanta, I think we was pleased. He'd made all his substitutions and he felt his hamstring. You could see that it was restricted to what he could do, and he's a good player, he's a threat, so that helped, I guess, the afternoon. But yeah, it was a nice time to get that second goal, certainly.
And did that make your talk easier at half-time?
It didn't really change it too much. I think the message was still, we kind of been here midweek, albeit a different scoreline, and we've got to try and make sure that we don't make the game any more difficult than it is. I expect a reaction from Dagenham, and we talked about how they might change shape, which they did in terms of, you know, just flipping the midfield area. And I wasn't happy with how we started, to be honest, the first 5 or 10 minutes. But then we settled down again, and like I say, I thought we had some good sort of counter attacks where we broke at pace but didn't quite get that, you know, the extra goal that would have been nice.
And as you say, John McAtee, it looked as a clear penalty. It's strange that 3 officials can all not see it.
Yeah, probably better not commenting, aren't we? Other than I think the player got away with one.
You look around at some strange results today. I don't know if you've seen the other results, but there's been some strange ones today. It's you know, it's starting to bunch up a little bit.
Yeah, look, a couple of results have gone for us. You know, we say strange results, and I do understand, of course, where you're coming from, but there's no guarantees. You know, people think that you just turn up and you get the victory that you think you should get, or in terms of league position going into the game. It doesn't work like that, and that's why I'm really pleased with the result today, because they're a side that are pushing. Clearly, I would have gone ahead of us today. Got a 4-point cushion on them now. Like I said, a couple of other results have gone well, but still plenty to play for.
Brought Jordan Cropper in. He was already here before Miché's injury, I guess. So did that make your decision a little bit easier to bring him in?
Yeah, I think I said on Thursday we're bringing him in anyway, in truth, but the timing of it kind of makes it look that way. Wouldn't have expected him to play today had he signed, and me should have been fit. However, circumstances, sometimes you've got to take the opportunity, and I thought he did very well. He did very well to last the game. He obviously got cramp at one stage, and his throws, I think, gave the crowd something to take the breath away. I think the first couple, which was a strange sort of sound and feeling around the place.
Well, I don't think I'm trying to remember, we were trying to remember before if we've ever had anybody who could throw it that far.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm trying to think back to my time here before and can't really remember. I think Jordan Maguire-Drew decided to tell us that he'd got a long throw if we put towels around the pitch. But thankfully we haven't needed to see that.
And you also brought in Joe Jones, of course. Is that just for numbers?
Just to try and improve us, in all honesty. As I talked about, and I said I don't want it to come across, you know, too unkind to certain players, but just felt that as balance of the team, or if we want to play a certain way, wasn't quite there. He's a different type of player, and I'm convinced that he can come in and help us, you know, get better. So it's difficult because we've won the game today, but you know, change things round. Scans has come back in. Did without having lots of the ball second half. He did a great job for the team in terms of his positioning, and sometimes that experience others have to learn from, which he gave us we were kind of solid down that side of the pitch. I know the corner came from there, but we blocked the cross and conceded. It was more down our right hand side where we maybe could argue threaten more, but maybe look more vulnerable as well.
You mentioned Mish Fete. Any more news on his hamstring?
It's a little bit worse than we would have liked it. I think probably 3 to 4 weeks, but as always, there's no guarantees. He's saying it doesn't feel too bad, so we'll see on it. But that's, in terms of the scan, that was the findings.
And anyone else likely to be back for Chesterfield?
No, I mean, I've said Foxy and Max Wright are both trained the last couple of days, so they will hopefully get another 4 days training in between now and then. So fingers crossed the squad's getting healthy. I don't think we've got anything from today negative on the injury side, and I'm going to have some tough decisions to make. But I've said I'd rather have those to make than be thinking, oh, we haven't got enough players. And it's throughout the season, I've looked at a lot of teams, a lot of squads. You end up using a lot of players. It's strange in today when there's more knowledge around, more sports science, but you seem to get more injuries. So we'll need it, and I want us to have those options available to us as a squad. We're all in it together, and when your opportunity comes, try and take it.